Right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the STEM Digital School. Yeah, this is grade 5 Natural Sciences and Technology. My name is Onkarabe Desitswe. Right, guys, unfortunately, today we're not playing Kahoot. Remember, I said this week we are going to use it for revision. Okay, so and I told you guys that if we finish our revision by Thursday, then Friday we can play Kahoot. So today we need to finish up the revision. Ask easy, guys. Okay, so next time, hopefully next week Friday, we will be able to play Kahoot. Ne? Right, so guys, we are continuing with the revision. Remember, we left off at processing materials. Okay, we left off at processing materials, and yesterday we were looking at non-metals, properties of metals, or rather special properties of metals, as well as uses of metals. So guys, please do gather your textbooks, notebooks, summaries, and notes so that we finish up with the revision. Okay, sorry that we're not playing Kahoot, but I hope you guys played Kahoot at the other classes. All right. Oh, guys, is it that bad? Hey, guys, come on, let's work, man. Let's work. But I hope the class will be fun, guys. Like we'll try make the class fun. Okay, then maybe you guys can teach each other and tell me like just read to me your summaries or your notes, etc. All right. Yeah, so sorry guys, we will play Kahoot, I promise. When we have time, when we're done with everything, we are going to play Kahoot. Okay. So we at the next topic, which is processing materials. It's just after uses of metals. So everyone, can you just please turn there to processing materials. Processing materials. Okay, so guys, processing materials. When we combine materials, new materials are made. Okay, so when we combine materials, new materials are made. I believe it was with your class where we looked at raw materials as well as processed materials. Okay, so now the properties of the new materials are often different from properties of the materials we started off with. And so can you guys tell me what are the materials, or what are usually the materials that we start off with before they undergo processing? What are those materials called? So we have processed materials, and then we also have materials. What are those types of materials called? Okay, Karina. Please don't cry about Kahoot.
Okay. No, ma'am, not Kahoots, but I'm really sad we can't play it yet. Anyways, ma'am, this is something that has to do with processing materials. So
Right.
I'm just going to read it to you now.
All right, cool, no problem.
Okay, so materials processing is defined as a series of steps or unit operations used in the manufacture of raw materials into finished goods.
Okay, just hold on. So the word I was looking for is raw materials. Okay, so you can continue.
Yeah. Into unfinished goods. Operations involve a succession of industrial processes with various mechanical or chemical producers, usually produced in large quantities or batches.
All right, so is that it? Are you done?
Hey?
I'm saying
yeah, I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much, Karina, for that beautiful information. Is that from your textbook or from your notes?
Actually, I've been learning this from. So I've been actually studying this when I was in my old school in Australia. We had to study this, and we had to like learn it by word. So.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm glad you still remember it. It is going to be very much useful now. Okay, so thank you very much, Karina.
Thank you, ma'am.
Awesome. All right. I see the group chat is quite busy. All right, cool. So it seems like we are still crying about Kahoot. Okay, so guys, there are many ways to process materials and many reasons why we process the materials. Okay, so we process materials to make them stronger or more durable or waterproof, or even to make them look more beautiful or interesting. Okay, new materials that form after mixing different materials are sometimes called mixtures. Okay, very important. Okay, so Bulelo says they want to share something from their textbook. Yes, Bulelo, you can share with us. Let me just unmute you and you can accept on your side. Yes, Bulelo?
Okay, so ma'am, can I read?
Yes, you can, you
Okay.
can.
Ma'am, so here it says materials can be processed to make new materials of or products. Different materials have different properties. Combining or mixing materials together produces new materials or new products that have different properties. If clay is mixed with water, it becomes runnier. Mixing sand, stones, cement, powder, and water together makes concrete, which can be used in building.
All right. So thank you very much, Bulelwa. And one of the okay, sorry. Yes.
Okay. Materials are good conductors of heat. Metals are good conductors of heat. Some metals are magnetic. A magnetic is a piece of metal that exerts a force on each other's magnet, and certain metals can rust when exposed to air or water for a long period of time.
All right. Okay. So I'll just stop you there, Bulelwa, so that we get the gist of the first paragraph that you read for us. So out of the first paragraph, right, that you read, you said that materials, right, raw materials and processed materials have different properties. So that is very important to note. Okay, that the processed materials have different properties from the materials that we used before we processed them. All right. Thank you very much for sharing, Bulelwa.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Awesome. So I hope everyone is following. Remember, guys, no private chats in the group chat. If you are going to use the group chat, use it for asking questions, okay, or answering. All right. So let it be based on the lesson. Okay, so let us move on to combining materials or more information with regards to combining materials. So we said that we can combine materials, and these are the following ways in which materials can be combined. Firstly, it's mixing. Okay, so often we mix materials together and the properties of the new material or product is different from the properties of the materials we started off with. Remember, guys, this is an important thing to note. Okay. Then another way in which we can combine materials is mixing and setting. Okay, so to make jelly, this is an example, we must dissolve jelly powder in hot water. When the solution of jelly powder in the hot water cools down, something very special happens. The solution sets and it turns into a delightfully wobbly sweet treat. So can you guys give me another example where mixing and setting is used in combining materials? Can you guys give me another example where mixing and setting is used to combine materials? So you guys can write it in the group chat or you can raise your hand and you can tell us all about it. Where mixing and setting is used. Okay, Faith.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Well, thanks. Just speak a bit louder, Faith, ne?
Okay, ma'am.
All right.
I'm just gonna read one paragraph.
Excuse me?
I'm just gonna read one paragraph.
All right, cool. No problem. Go for it.
Sometimes we mix certain materials that become hard after we have mixed them. We say that the mixture sets. This property is very useful because we can shape the mixture so that it sets in a particular shape. Cement is an example of such a material. When cement is mixed with water, the mixture is runny, but because hard when it is set, cement mixture can be shaped into hollow, circular, and square pillars that can be used to make structures like silos and powder stations.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for that example, Faith. So Faith says, rather, where she read was a paragraph which spoke about mixing and setting, and it gave an example of how we use cement. Okay, so when cement is mixed with water, it feels runny, but after it sets, then it is hard. Okay, thank you very much for that. Does anyone else have an example that they would like to share with regards to mixing and setting? Anyone else? Do you have anyone, somebody, no one? Okay. Okay, Sikamohelo. Right. Yes, Kamohelo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Ooh, now you just disappeared and I can see that you're talking. All right, I can hear you now.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, ma'am, just so I know, it's the same person.
Excuse me?
Ma'am, I'm saying this is Leanda.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Do you have an example for us with regards to mixing and setting?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go for it.
Ma'am, so if you mix plaster of Paris with water,
Mm-hmm.
it makes hard plaster when it dries.
All right, cool. Yes, and that is correct. Plaster of Paris is also an example that where mixing and setting is used to combine materials. All right, thank you very much, Kamhelo. Or Lianda, you saying it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, let us move along to other ways in which we can combine materials. So mixing and cooking, that is also a way in which we can combine materials. And cooking food, guys, is also a form of a processing. Very important to note that here we have an example of a raw egg as well as a fried and cooked egg. Okay, so when we look at the raw egg, I don't think it looks very appetizing, and one wouldn't, just normally go for a raw egg. But after we cook the raw egg, it has a different type of texture, right? It looks more delightful, appetizing, and it's a bit hard than the raw egg. So that is what we mean when we say that. So that's what we mean when we say that the materials we start with have different properties than the materials that we end with. Okay, so that's very much important to note. Okay. Let us move on. So here we have the example of the jelly that sets, and this is strawberry jelly. And then we have the example of mixing cement. So just after mixing the cement with water, then it will set, and we sometimes get hard bricks, right? And we can also use the cement in building houses. Right, let's get to our summary for this section. Sorry. So what we're saying is on this section is that materials can be processed to make new materials in a variety of ways, such as mixing, mixing and setting, mixing and cooking, mixing and cooling, mixing as well as drying. Okay, so when materials are processed or combined, the properties of the starting materials are different from the properties of the new materials, so the products that we form. Okay. All right, Lily, to just check your sound, né? Just make sure that you have connected your sound. All right, now we're moving on to processed materials. Processed materials. So this is the next topic, né, guys? This is the next topic. And it is, I think it's the last one as well. Right, so materials that have not yet been processed are called raw materials. Then raw materials are made into other things. So the process of making it into other things, this is what we call processing. Okay, so we have an input, and the input is the raw material. The process is obviously how we're going to change the raw material into the new product. Then we have an output, which is our new processed material. Okay, so the processed materials are materials which have been refined or built by humans from raw materials. Okay, so we are gonna play a quick game where you guys are gonna tell me if these materials are raw or processed and if they originate from plants, animals, or earth. Okay, bread. Is bread a raw or processed material? So you guys can also use the group chat to send through your answers. Okay, you guys can also send your answers through to the group chat. Okay, let's hear Faith. So I'm going to take about 3 hands. Faith?
Ma'am, it is processed.
Okay, so Faith says bread is processed. Okay, thank you. Let's see what Sakura has to say.
Ma'am, bread is a processed thing, ma'am, because it goes through multiple stages of processing, ma'am.
All
They
right.
first mix it, then they bake it, and so on, ma'am. Bread is a processed material, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much, Sakura. Let's see Lesedi. Lesedi?
Ma'am, bread is raw. I mean processed. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
It's a
Thank you. Processed. Okay.
Yes.
So let's see if bread is processed. Okay. And that is true. Bread is processed. Okay, so let's say stay on for me. What is the origin of bread? Is it plant, animal, or earth?
Plants.
Plant. Okay.
Yes, because
beautiful.
it has a lot of wheat inside.
All right. So you didn't give us the plant, which is wheat. Okay, beautiful. So in the group, most of us said it's processed. Only one of us said it's raw. So guys, bread is a processed material. Okay, so in the process of making bread, we are using flour. Okay, and flour in itself is already processed because it is made out of wheat. Okay. So let us move on to rice. Let's hear Faith. Is rice processed or raw?
Rice is processed.
It's processed. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have here that rice is raw. Do you guys agree that rice is raw? Let me hear other answers next. Okay, Bulelo, do you think rice is raw or processed? Okay, so I see there. Okay, Shengi, can you answer? Is rice processed or raw?
Raw.
Excuse me?
Raw.
It's raw. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so guys, also use the group chat now. Let me see what most of you guys are saying. Guys, is rice raw or processed? Yeah, see, Neo says it's raw. Bulela says it depends. What does it depend on, Bulela? Okay, so let's see what Sakura says. Okay, Sakura.
Ma'am, it does depend, ma'am, because some rice is usually all rice, ma'am, you get in the shop, ma'am, it's packaged, ma'am.
So what does
Which is,
that mean?
ma'am, and it still goes through a process where they see if it's fine to eat, ma'am.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. Okay, so indeed, guys, it does depend. Some rice is not processed, some is processed. Okay, so it would depend on what type of rice you are looking at. Okay, but the origin is plant. Okay, now let's go to maize meal. Is maize meal processed or raw? Guys, just keep the chats in the group to a minimal. You're going to use the group chat, send through your answers in the group chat. Okay, Tafika, let's hear.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Ma'am, it's processed.
Okay, so maize meal is processed. All right, okay, just stay on for me. So what is the origin of maize meal? Is it
Pardon,
plant?
ma'am?
I'm saying what is the origin of the material or the origin of maize meal? Is it plant, animal, or earth?
Plant.
Plant. All right, do you know what plant it is?
Corn.
A corn. All right, beautiful. Thank you very much, Tafika.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry for that. Thank you, though. All right. Okay, so I see Kosa also said it is processed. Ntando says it depends. Ntando, just enlighten us. Why do you say it depends? Why do you say it depends? And Kamohelo, I'm going to give you the one for toothpaste. All right, so let's hear. Kamohelo, is toothpaste raw or processed?
Ma'am?
Is
Ma'am,
toothpaste
I think,
raw or processed?
ma'am, I think it's processed.
You think it's processed? All right, let's see.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and where, or rather, what is the origin of the toothpaste? So that is correct. Toothpaste is processed. What is the origin of the toothpaste? Is it plant, animal, or earth?
Ma'am, I think it's earth.
You think it's earth? Okay, so what do we mean when we say it's earth? If you're going to say that something is made out of earth or its origin is earth, what do you mean by that?
Ma'am, I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Okay, no problem. No problem. But you said earth. Okay, so let's see what the correct answer is. Thank you very much, Kamohelo. So Kamohelo says toothpaste is made out of earth. Right, let's see. So toothpaste is made out of animal. All right. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that toothpaste is made out of animal? So basically, what we mean when we say that toothpaste is made out of animal, they use certain calcium, I think it's calcium carbonate, which is found in the animal, in the bones of animals. So that also forms part of toothpaste. So some other toothpaste we find other earthly minerals like your fluoride, your calcium as well, which are found, which are elements, right? And we can also say that some toothpastes are made of earth, and we can also say that some toothpastes are made of plant, because nowadays we get plant-based toothpastes. All right. But at the end of the day, it keeps our teeth clean and free from cavities. All right, so let us continue. Vegetables, this is an easy one. Sakura, see your hand is up first. Okay, I see Khote says raw in the group and Bulelo also says raw with Lisedi. Okay, Sakura, you can give us vegetables. Is it raw or processed?
Ma'am, sometimes it depends, ma'am, because they still pick it, ma'am. They still pick it, and sometimes in the shop, ma'am, they still cut the things, ma'am, in half, ma'am, so that you can have half of it, ma'am, if you don't wanna. So it is processed and raw, ma'am.
Okay, so
And
let's say we
then,
pick, just hold on. Let's say we pick vegetables from a garden.
ma'am, then it's raw, ma'am.
All right, beautiful. Okay, and then the origin, plant, animal, or earth.
Plant, ma'am.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so I see Koto also answered saying plant. All right, beautiful guys. So I see everyone who answered raw and Tando. Neo also answered raw. Okay, Lesedi also answered raw. Bulelwa. Thank you very much for the answers in the group. Okay, so that brings us to our, or rather to the end of our game. And we can move on and look at traditional processing. Okay, so guys, people have been processing materials from the earliest times. So in the olden days, only natural materials were available, and people found many clever ways to make these materials more useful. So an example is how bones were used to make tools and hunting weapons. Okay, so some of these traditional ways of processing materials are still used today. And so here we have an example of a woman weaving a grass basket. And just next to this picture of a woman weaving a grass basket is a man weaving a reed mat. Okay, so can you guys think of traditional ways of processing which are still used today? Can you guys think of traditional ways of processing materials which are still used today? Okay, so I see a few hands which are up. I'm not quite sure if they have an answer for me, but I will unmute your mics and hear what you guys have to say. Okay, Tafika.
Ma'am, I forgot to put my hand down.
Oh, you forgot to put your hand down. Okay, how do you pronounce your name?
Tafika.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so let's hear from Faith. Faith, do you have an example of traditional ways, right, of processing which are still used today? Faith? Okay, so Faith seems like we cannot hear you. All right, so let's move on to Kamohelo.
Ma'am?
Yes, can you give us another example of traditional ways of processing which are still used today?
Oh no, ma'am, I just wanted to read something.
Oh, okay, you can read it for us.
Okay, ma'am.
So guys, just listen up now. Someone is reading something.
Traditional processing.
Okay.
In Africa, people have processed various materials of hundreds of years. Clay is processed to make clay products such as pots and bricks. Plant fibers such as grass, reeds are used to make baskets, mats, hats, and thatched roofs. Clay bricks and pots. Many cultures use clay to manufacture bricks. The traditional Xhosa hut is an example of a structure made of processed materials. It is built from mud, clay, bricks, and grass.
All right, so is that it? Are you done?
Yes,
reading?
ma'am.
All right, thank you very much, Kamohelo. So we heard various examples where traditional processing has been used. Examples that were mentioned is how clay was used to make bricks, and we also heard an example of pots, as well as thatch used for roofs. All right, beautiful. So in the group chat, Hlengi says traditional pots, which are still made today, and that is correct. Koto says the reed broom, and that is correct. Reed brooms are still made till this day. Clay pots and grass hat. All right, thank you. So I see Sakura probably has an answer for us.
Ma'am, there's only a few things that we still make that's traditional, ma'am. We still make reed. We still make baskets, which are made of that we weave, ma'am.
All right.
We also make we also make the brooms that, like they said in the chat, ma'am. We also make. We still make what's it called again? Oh yeah, ma'am. They still make baskets, and we still make a lot of things the same as we did a long time ago, ma'am.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for that addition, Sakura. Okay, so last hand is Shengi. Oh, we still have Faith. Yes, Shengi.
It's traditional and traditional wooden spoon.
Okay, so traditional pots as well as traditional wooden spoons.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much, Shengi.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Faith. Let's. I hope we can hear you this
Hello,
time.
ma'am.
Hi, Faith. Hi, Faith.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I have summaries combining and process. I have different types.
Can you just speak louder for me, Faith?
Ma'am, I have summary combining and processing raw materials. I
All
have
right, cool.
examples.
Okay, you can share it for us.
So plastic of pears plus water is mixed, set, and organ made. And then qualify plus water mixed paste, so cracks and set. And then cement plus powder plus sand, water plus gravel mixed cement, and flour plus water mixed paste as glue, and clay, limestone, wheat grains mixed cement, and maize meal, water plus salt mixed cooking porridge, jelly powder plus hot water cooling solid jelly, and lastly clay shaped into blocks dry in air heat strongly bricks.
All right. Thank you very much for those various examples. And that is a beautiful summary, Faith. Thank you, Nat.
Thank you, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, so I think we still have the hand Bulelwa. Bulelwa. All right, seems like we will move on. Okay, so Bulelwa, your mic does not want to unmute. Okay, cool. So guys, some other traditional ways, right, of making things that we still use today. An example, like I said, is the one that we have here of the weaving of grass baskets or making a
Ma'am, I want
reed
to
mat.
say that, ma'am,
Yeah, I'm listening. Who am I talking to? Okay, speak. Bulelo.
Ma'am?
Yeah, you can
Yes,
can
ma'am.
talk. You can talk.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I wanted to say that people still also make clay pots and baskets and grass huts and the brooms, those brooms
In the reed prunes.
that are made out of grass.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing, Bulelo.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So guys, just another way in which like traditional methods which were used and are still being used today is how biltong is made. So biltong is basically just taking a piece of meat and drying it out, salting it and spicing and drying it out. So that was done in the olden days and that is still done today. Okay, so that's just another example of traditional ways of processing which we still use today. Okay, so the uses of processed materials depend on its new special properties. Then processed materials can have the following and other special properties. They can be strong. Guys, videos need to be off. Thank you. They can be strong. They can be durable. They can be waterproof. They can be fire resistant and they can have interesting colors as well as different textures. Then over hundreds of years ago, people in Africa have processed indigenous materials to produce new materials and products. Okay, so key concepts for this topic. Natural materials come from plants, animals, or the earth. Raw materials are materials that have not been processed. Then processed materials are raw materials that have been changed or refined by humans. Humans have been processing materials from the earliest times. Then in Africa, people have processed materials for hundreds of years, for example, to make clay pots as well as woven products. Okay, so guys, that brings us to the end of our lesson. Remember, you can get the Via African Natural Science and Technology book on Snaplify, and you can also get the Siavula textbook on the Thunderbolts Kids website. Right, I'm sorry for that. Lelit, is this the slide that you need me to go back to? So guys, remember, you can get those textbooks for yourselves online. It is free. So remember, again, Thursday, we have the Natural Sciences and Technology test. So just use the weekend to revise, right? So that you are good to go for Thursday, right? Okay, so Leletu, I hope you are cool. Okay, Sakura.
Ma'am, ma'am, I just want to ask, ma'am. Ma'am, I don't know if we have load shedding, ma'am, because, ma'am, I think on Thursday we might have load shedding, ma'am. So if you miss the test, ma'am, do you not get your marks, ma'am?
You can just send an email to the school, then they will help you with that. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, cool. All right, guys. So bye-bye and enjoy the rest. Oh, no, sorry. If you do have any questions, just send them through to the email on screen. And bye, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a lovely weekend.